Ever wondered how one man's vision could completely transform the way we make things and the way we live? Henry Ford. He's a name we all know, but his influence goes far beyond just building cars. Picture this. It's the early 20th century, and Ford wasn't just making cars. He was laying the foundation for an industrial revolution that would shape the world. Ford's strategies weren't just about creating more affordable automobiles. They were a masterclass in manufacturing efficiency, worker empowerment, and making products that changed lives. From humble beginnings to becoming a global industrial powerhouse, Ford didn't just reshape personal wealth, he reshaped the way the world worked. Let's take a closer look at how Henry Ford revolutionized manufacturing and left an enduring legacy that continues to impact personal finance today. 1. The birth of mass production. The moving assembly line. Our journey starts in 1913, when Henry Ford introduced the moving assembly line at his Highland Park factory in Detroit. While Ford didn't invent the assembly line, he transformed it into a highly efficient production machine by using conveyor belts to move parts to workers, rather than having workers move to the parts. What was Ford's key innovation? He made production faster, cheaper, and far more efficient. Before the introduction of the assembly line, cars were painstakingly assembled by hand, a process that could take up to 12 hours per car. Ford's new system slashed production time to just 93 minutes. This efficiency didn't just speed up production, it allowed him to significantly lower the cost of each vehicle. The famous Model T, which initially cost around $850, became affordable for the average American as its price dropped to under $300 over the next decade. The moving assembly line didn't just revolutionize car manufacturing, it transformed the way goods were made around the world. By drastically cutting the time and cost of production, Ford didn't just make cars more affordable. He created an entirely new way of thinking about manufacturing. Mass production became the new standard for industries worldwide, from household appliances to consumer electronics. 2. Worker empowerment. The $5 workday. A year after revolutionizing manufacturing, Henry Ford made another groundbreaking move, one that would forever change labor relations. In 1914, he introduced the $5 workday, effectively doubling the average wage of his factory workers. Why would Ford pay his workers so much more? Because he knew that better paid workers would be more loyal, more productive, and more likely to buy his cars. Ford's decision to raise wages wasn't just a generous act, it was a calculated business strategy. By paying his workers more, he reduced employee turnover and absenteeism. What's more, his workers could now afford to buy the very cars they were building, creating a cycle of consumerism that fueled the economy. The $5 workday wasn't just a pay raise, it was a revolution in how companies viewed their workforce. This move was pivotal in the creation of the modern middle class. By treating workers as both employees and consumers, Ford helped to foster a new economy where people earned more and spent more, further driving demand for goods and services. Other companies soon followed suit, and the $5 workday became a symbol of fair wages and the balance between business success and worker well-being. 3. Economies of scale. Mass production on a global scale. Ford didn't just revolutionize how cars were made. He perfected the concept of economies of scale, producing goods so efficiently that their cost plummeted, making them accessible to a mass market. By the 1920s, Ford's factories were operating at such a high capacity that they were producing millions of Model Ts every year. How did Ford make cars affordable for everyone? He built them by the millions, driving down the cost per car and passing the savings on to consumers. Through this efficient, large-scale production, Ford reduced the price of the Model T to under $300 by 1925, bringing car ownership within reach of millions of Americans. The Model T wasn't just a vehicle, it was a tool for freedom, allowing people to travel farther, work in different cities, and explore new opportunities. Ford wasn't just selling cars. He was selling the dream of personal freedom and financial independence. This dramatic expansion of car ownership contributed to the rise of suburban America and reshaped the geography of the modern world. Roads and highways sprang up to connect rural areas to cities, and industries like steel, oil, and rubber boomed in response to the growing demand for automobiles. 4. Vertical integration. Controlling every aspect of production, Henry Ford was a visionary, but he was also a practical businessman. To further reduce costs and ensure quality, Ford embraced vertical integration, owning and controlling every step of the production process, from raw materials to the finished product. What does vertical integration mean? It's when you own every part of the process, from the raw materials to the finished product on the showroom floor. Ford acquired coal mines, iron ore mines, timberlands, rubber plantations, and even a fleet of ships and railroads. This allowed him to cut out the middlemen and maintain a tight grip on costs. He didn't have to rely on external suppliers, which meant fewer delays, lower expenses, and greater control over the quality of his materials. Ford's vertical integration wasn't just smart business, it was his way of guaranteeing success and outpacing his competitors. This strategy gave Ford an unprecedented level of control over his empire. By owning the entire supply chain, he insulated his business from market fluctuations and ensured that his factories ran smoothly, regardless of external economic pressures. Ford's success with vertical integration would go on to inspire other industrial giants, making it a cornerstone of modern corporate strategy. 5. Innovation beyond the car. How Ford shaped personal wealth. Henry Ford didn't just change how products were made. He changed how wealth was created and distributed through his innovations in mass production, higher wages, and vertical integration. Ford helped usher in a new era of prosperity for the average American. What was Ford's greatest legacy? He helped create the modern middle class by empowering workers and making goods affordable for everyone. The rise of affordable cars helped to build the modern economy. People could travel farther for work, shop more easily, and enjoy leisure activities that were previously out of reach. This newfound mobility also created demand for new industries, from tourism and road construction to gasoline and auto repair services. Ford wasn't just building cars. He was building the future of personal wealth and financial independence. 6. The legacy of Henry Ford. Timeless lessons in wealth and innovation. Ford's innovations didn't just affect the early 20th century, they set the stage for decades of economic growth and technological advancement. His strategies in mass production, vertical integration, and worker empowerment became the blueprint for modern industry. What's the lasting impact of Henry Ford's work? He created the foundation for how we work, how we make things, and how we live. Ford's assembly line model is still in use today, not just in automobile manufacturing, but in virtually every industry that produces goods on a large scale. His approach to labor relations, through fair wages and shorter work hours, continues to influence how companies treat their workers, ensuring that prosperity is shared. Ford's genius wasn't just in building cars. It was in building a better future for generations to come. Conclusion: the timeless lessons of Henry Ford. Henry Ford's innovations in manufacturing, labor, and business strategy forever changed the way we think about wealth and prosperity. From revolutionizing mass production to creating a pathway for middle-class success, Ford's impact on the world is undeniable. What can we learn from Henry Ford? Bold ideas and smart business strategies don't just change industries, they change lives. Ford's legacy is a powerful reminder that innovation, when paired with a focus on people, can reshape the world. His methods became a model for industries across the globe, proving that success isn't just about making profits. It's about creating lasting opportunities for growth and wealth that benefit everyone.